This is part 5th of the Bear Act series, in which we are going to discuss in detail from Article 25 to Article 30. And as you all know, that from Article 25 to Article 28, these articles guaranteed you freedom of religion. Okay, and then Article 29 and 30, and these articles are about the minorities. Okay, these about the minorities. Now in my earlier 4 videos I have discussed from article 1 to article number 24, each clause one by one with detailed explanation. So this is the part 5th of your Bear Act, in which we are going to discuss from article 25 and 30. Now article 25 says that freedom of conscience and free profession, practice, propagation of religion, but not forced conversion. Okay, now but this right is limited, subject to public order, morality, health, and to the other provisions of this part. And all persons are equally entitled to freedom of conscience and their right freely to profess, practice, and propagate. Now let us understand in a simplest possible way. So Article 25 guarantees religious freedom to every person. And mainly it gives us 4 important rights. The first one is freedom of conscience. That whether you believe or not believe in a religion, any kind of religion. Right? That means nobody can force you to believe in certain religion or any kind of religion. Nobody has the right to force you that no, you should believe in certain religion. No. And second one is right to protest a religion. That means you have a right to declare your faith. That means which faith you are following, right? Then you have a right, and you have a right to choose that faith as well. Nobody can force you. And the third right is right to practice a religion. That means that the religion that you want, you can perform, whether it is Hinduism, Islamism, or any kind of religion you want to practice, you want to profess, then you can have it. Okay, so you have a right to practice a religion, or you have a right to practice certain religious rituals. But again, I am telling you that nobody can force you to do all these rituals, or nobody can force you to believe in the God or in a certain religion. And you have a right to propagate a religion. That means that you have a right to explain your religion peacefully. But let me tell you that this article not providing you the right to forcefully conversion. Okay. Now these rights are not absolute in nature. That means they are subject to certain exception as well, like public order, morality, health, and other fundamental rights. Okay, so this article is not absolute in nature. There is certain exception as well. Now the state may also make laws regulating secular activities associated with religious practices and introducing social welfare and reform. That means state has the power to make laws regarding social or the secular activities of any kind of a religion, whether it is Hinduism, Muslimism, or Sikhism, right? So yes, state can interfere. Okay, state can interfere. Now, for example, a person can peacefully preach their religion but can't force or coerce another person to convert. Okay, from exam point of view, what you need to mug up from this article is that this article is available to all the persons, and it is about the freedom of conscience, profess, practice, and propagate. That means CPQ. Okay, CPQ means conscience, profess, practice, and propagate. But this article is subject to public order, morality, and health. That means this right is subject to public order, morality, and health. Okay, so these are the grounds. Now article 26 is about freedom of managing religious affairs. Right now, if you have an endowment, or let's suppose if you have any kind of freedom or religious affairs, right, like trust, you can say, right? So you have a right to manage your trust as well. So it is also subject to public order, morality, and health. And every religious denomination or any section thereof shall have the right. What kind of the rights are available to such denomination? That means to establish and maintain institution for religious and charitable purpose. Okay, to manage its own affairs in matter of religion, to own and acquire movable and immovable property, and to administer such properties in accordance with the laws. So these are the rights that are available to the religious institution. Okay, that they can enjoy these rights. They have a right to maintain they have a right to manage, they have a right to move, acquire, move an immovable property, and also they have a right to administer such property. But let me tell you that yes, state can interfere, but that interference should be a reasonable one. Okay, so this was about the article 26. Now let us understand in simplest possible way that article 26 gives a religious denomination. Okay, that means religious groups or organization, and if there is a religious denomination, to function properly they need certain kind of right. So the right to manage their own religious affairs. Now what they can establish religious and charitable institution for propagating their religion, and they can manage their own religious matter, they can own property whether it is movable or immovable, and they can also administer property according to the law. So these are the rights that are available to the religious institution. Now but the government, as I have already told you, that government can regulate the administration of property through the law, but can't unnecessarily interfere in their religious practices. Okay, for example, a temple trust or a church can manage its religious rituals, and also they can own property, while financial administration may be regulated by the laws. As you all know that the Indian temples are managed mostly by the trust. Okay, now, from the exam point of view, what you need to mark up from this article is that this applies to the religious denomination, and also it is subject to public order, morality, and health, and it includes rights that are relating to institution and the property. So, Article 26 is about the institution, and Article 25 is about the individual freedom. Okay, about the religion. Article 26 is about the that you have to know, you have to pay no tax to propagate the religion or the religious affair. So article 27 is about the freedom as to payment of taxes for the promotion of any particular religion. That means simply that government can't levy any kind of tax that is related to basically promotion of any religion. Or the second meaning of this clause is about that the tax that you have paid, that tax can't be used to propagate any kind of religion. Okay, your tax can't be used, and even government can't impose such kind of taxes. So no person shall be compelled to pay any taxes, the proceeds of which are specifically appropriated for the payment of expenses for the promotion or the maintenance of any particular religion or the religious denomination. That means this article has two meaning. One meaning is that government will not levy any kind of tax, proceeds from which they can use to propagate any religious or to manage or to expend that proceed for the promotion of any religion. And the second point is that you will not compelled to pay any kind of tax, and the tax that you paid will not be used to promote any kind of religion. Okay, so the government can't force the citizen to pay taxes specifically for the promote or to maintain a particular religion, and this article reflects the secular nature of the Indian state. Now but however, tax collected for general public purposes that incidentally benefit religious institutions are different from the taxes imposed specifically for promoting of religious. Suppose you are visiting any temple and that need to submit you or to pay you some fee, right? And this fee will not consider as a tax. This is to manage that religious institution, to for the sanitation, for the other kind of the work, but that is fees, not tax. Okay, now the government cannot impose a special tax only to promote one particular religion. Okay, but government, if they think, then they can promote other religions, not only one religion. Okay, so from exam point of view, no tax for the promotion of a particular religion can be imposed by the government on their citizen, and it reflects secularism nature of the Indian state. Also it applies to all person. So this was about the article 27. Now article 28 talking about the religious instruction or the religious worship in certain educational institution. Okay, so article 28 says that no religious instruction shall be provided in any educational institution that are wholly maintained out of the state fund. Suppose there is a college or a school, and that school or college basically wholly maintained, that means funded by the state or the government of India, then no religious instruction will be allowed. Okay, so but there are certain exception as well, that if there is an endowment or a trust. Okay, like if there is a trust or the, you can say, a school that are maintained by the church, okay, then some kind of religious instructions are allowed. So these are the exception. And in simplest explanation, article 28 deals with the religious instructions in educational institution, okay. But schools that are fully funded by the government of India, they can't provide religious instruction, or they can't give religious instructions in their school or their colleges. And the institution that are administered under a religious trust, and they have a right to provide such instruction, but that also subject to the national or the sovereignty of the India, okay. And the no student can be compelled to attend religious instruction or worship without the consent as provided by the constitution, that no one can force you to listen their religious instruction in the school or the college. For example, a government school can't make a student attend religious classes, okay. If they think that they should attend these instructions classes, then they can attend, but nobody can force them to attend such kind of religious instructions. From the exam point of view, you need to know that government funded institution can't impart religious instruction, and consent is important for attending religious instruction in applicable cases. That means if there is a religious school that like trust or the endowment, okay, that are maintained by the church or someone else, then some kind of instructions are permitted, okay. Now article 29 article 29 and article 30 is about the minority right, okay. So article 29 about the protection of interest of the minorities, okay. Now this article is that any section of the citizens, any section, okay, of the citizens residing in the territory of India having distinct language, script, culture of its own shall have the right to conserve the same, okay. And no citizen shall be denied admission into any educational institution maintained by the state are receiving aid out of state. That means they are getting fund from the state on the grounds only of religion, race, caste, language, or any of them. That means if that particular college or the schools get funding from the state or from the central government, now they can't deny you to admission in their school or colleges. Grounds that are mentioned here is religion, race, caste, language, or any of them. Now if you are a linguistic minority or religious minority, then you can preserve own script or language. So article 29 protect language, script, and culture of different sections of the citizen. And apart from this, it also prohibit discrimination in admission to state maintained or state aided educational institution on a specific ground, that no, your religion is this, your caste is this, your color is this, and you are not allowed to get admission into my college, okay. So these are the rights that that are essential for the minorities. For example, if a student want to get admission in any state funded college or any government college, okay, then they can't be denied admission to a government aided college only because of their language or the religion. From exam point of view, that article 29 protect language, script, and culture. It applies to any section of citizen, not only minorities. That means minority plus majority, okay. It applies to both because they also need to conserve their religion, their script, their language as well. Now article 30 and last article for today. So article 30 is about right of minorities to establish and administer educational institution. So all the minorities, whether based on religious or language, shall have the right to establish and administer educational institution of their right. So article 30 talking about two kind of religious minority. One is two kind of minorities. One is religion and second is basically language, okay. Now article 30 gives religious and linguistic minority, okay, the right to establish and manage educational institution of their own choice. What is the purpose of this article is basically, so the purpose is to preserve their identity, their language, and their culture through the education institution, and the state can't discriminate against such institution while granting aid. Why? Mainly because they are managed by the minority. If there is a minority institution, they will get fund from the government, okay. Now suppose if there is a linguistic minority, that means the speaker of this language is very low number, they may establish and manage school to promote its language and culture, okay. Now it's this article is available only to the religious and linguistic minority, and it grants right to establish and administer educational institution, and state can't discriminate in granting aid just because they are the minority institution, okay. So I have discussed from article 25 to article 30. Let us take a quick revision. That Article 25 about the freedom of conscience, profession, practice and propagate, that means CPQ. Article 26 freedom to manage religious affairs. Article 27 no tax for the promotion of any particular religion. Article 28 about the religious instructions, and Article 29 language, script and culture preservation, and Article 30 about to establish and administer educational institution. Now, let me know in comment section whether this series is helpful to you or no. And if you think that this series is helping you, then kindly share with your fellow aspirants, like this initiative, like the video, subscribe channel, and let me know in comment section if you have any doubt regarding these articles.